Hey everybody, in this video we'll show Mac users how to install GarlicOS. Time for a new video. I've heard a lot of comments from you guys and I wanted to answer some of those questions. I'm going to update this guide. It's how to install GarlicOS on the original RG35XX. Let's make sure you have the following. 2 SD cards. These are my favorite and work great. Links for those are also in the description. The pack that I chose is a 3-pack. I would advise not using the 64GB card that comes with the device. But seriously, don't use the SD card that comes with the device. They're the cheapest quality, they're known to break, just don't do it. And then finally, some type of micro SD or SD card reader. To be able to read those cards on your Mac, I like the Anker 7-in-1 USB-C hub. Okay, let's get started. On your Mac, make sure you have the Unarchiver installed. So this app allows you to be able to unzip files, or in this case, to be able to merge multiple files into one archive. And we'll be using that to extract some of the software for GarlicOS. Hey, let's pause real quick. I just wanted to see if you could subscribe. The previous version of this video had about 18,000 views, and out of that, I haven't even hit 1,000 subscribers yet. So if you could go ahead and subscribe, that'd be great. Like the video, really appreciate that. But yeah, let's jump back in. Thank you. Next up, we'll be installing GarlicOS, so we need to get the software. So go to this website on Patreon. You don't have to be a subscriber to download, but at the very bottom of the page, you'll see the links that you can use to download the files. So they start with RG35XX, copy paste on top of stock, micro SD card image. Let's go ahead and save all 4 of those to a folder on our hard drive. Okay, so I have my files downloaded here. Now this is where Unarchiver comes into effect. Right click, choose Open With, and then the Unarchiver, or Other if you don't see it there. That'll go ahead and extract it. Now we have to make sure that we right clicked on .001, otherwise it won't do it in the right order. So what this does is it unarchives that 7-zip folder, 1 and 2, and combines them into one folder here. Now this is the software that we're going to use to flash our SD card and put the modified GarlicOS on our Anbernic. To flash our SD card, we're going to need some software. So go to this website, link is in the description for Balena Etcher. And so what this will allow us to do is to be able to flash an OS image or just an image file to an SD card on our Mac. So go ahead and make sure you have that downloaded. And what you do, before we get started, I just wanted to mention, remember to back up your original SD card. You're going to need stuff from it later on. And so it's good to make a backup of this anyway. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, these cards are really flaky and they sometimes die anyway. So it's good to have a copy. If you insert that original 64GB SD card that comes with your Anbernic, you'll see 2 partitions or external disks. They'll show up as volume with the MN at the end and no name in all caps. Other drives might be here in Finder, but I didn't want you to miss these names because this is what represents that SD card that you put in. It just happens to show up as 2 different external disks or external drives. If you click on No Name in Finder, you'll see a few different folders. BIOS, ROM, Save, Saves RA, States RA. If you want your save states, then these 3 last folders, you can copy them over if you want to. But BIOS and ROMs are the most important. Of course, you don't have to use the ROMs that came with the Anbernic, but if you want to, they're there, so you can copy those over too. The BIOS are the files that make the games actually work, and you definitely need this folder. So go ahead and copy the BIOS and ROMs onto either your desktop, an external SSD if you have one, or some kind of storage where you can access this later. For good measure, if you want, you can copy the files in the volume folder, but that's not totally necessary. They're the system files that help the Anbernic boot up. They are where you customize like the boot logo, but for the purpose of this tutorial, let's just go ahead and copy over the BIOS and ROMs. But if you want to copy everything and you're unsure about that, go for it. Alright, so let's continue with flashing your new SD card, that 32GB. I highly recommend you buying a new card and using it for this tutorial. In the Etcher app, click Flash From File. Choose garlic.image where you saved it previously and unzipped. Click Open. And then now we're going to select the target. This needs to be the SD card that you've bought and put into your hard drive. So I'm going ahead and choose this 32GB SD card here. This is generic. Click Select One. Alright, so now we can click on Flash and get started with the process. Now we're going to go ahead and type in our administrative password on the computer. So it's flashing this, and it's going to go through and write that image to the SD card. And then after that, it'll go ahead and then validate that it was flashed properly. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up because the process takes a few minutes. On your Mac, in the Applications folder, there's also a Utilities folder. Open that and choose the application Disk Utility. In Disk Utility, we're going to verify that our SD card was working properly. So on the left-hand side, there's a no name that was the SD card. We're going to click on Mount. And then we're going to rename this. So we want to right-click on No Name and choose Rename. And then we'll type in sys, S-Y-S. And make sure that it's FAT16 formatted, and this one will say FAT32 formatted. We want to mount it again. We can click here and choose MISC. We can click here and type MISC, making sure it's FAT32. Okay. Alright, close that out. Our SD cards were set up properly. Back in Finder, you'll notice on the left there are two different disks now. One says sys, one says MISC. That's what we just set up. Go to the MISC one. That will have a BIOS folder. Remove that. Hey, quick note here. If you're going to do a 2-card setup, which is what I recommend in this video, then it's okay to delete the BIOS and the ROMs folders from this. But if you have it already backed up and you just want to use a 1-card system, go ahead and drag back that BIOS and ROMs folder that you made a backup of into this MISC volume. And that'll allow you to use it with just 1 card. But if you bought 2 cards, which I recommend because you have more space, then on that 2nd card, put your BIOS and ROMs and save states on that 2nd card. To try, it'll have a ROMs folder as well. If you click into that, it just shows you what to name the folders whenever you go to set up ROMs. There's no ROMs there. But we can go back and we'll right click on that and choose delete. Okay, we can go ahead and eject both of these and place it into our device. This is where you would copy the files that you made a backup of and put them on a 2nd card. That 2nd card you need to format in Disk Utility as FAT32 and then copy over your ROMs and your BIOS. I can't show you how to set up the ROMs, but that's pretty much how to get that 2nd card created. Now go ahead and put both SD cards into the slots. Make sure they're in the right order. The first one should be for the OS and the second one for your games. And then we can go ahead. This is what the default look is for GarlicOS running on the Anbernic RG35XX. So I'm going through the list of games that I have here and going to go ahead and choose Super Mario Brothers. Now the awesome thing about GarlicOS is that you can customize it. So I put a custom skin on here. This is a minimal skin. If you like this video and like to see more about tech, retro gaming, and everything in between, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.